Welcome everybody to today's 1 Million by 1 Million Strategy Roundtable. You probably know, unless you're joining for the first time, that 1 Million by 1 Million is a global virtual incubator with the mission of helping 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million in annual revenue and beyond by 2020. And this roundtable is a special one for IBM SmartCamp Barcelona. And here with us today is Marco Laucelli, who is co-hosting the roundtable with us from Barcelona, and obviously there's a lot of entrepreneurs from the Barcelona SmartCamp. From what I understand, Marco, you had about 99 entrepreneurs who had applied for the SmartCamp Barcelona, right?
Yeah, actually we had around 19 startups applying for the program this year. This was the second year we ran the SmartCamp in Spain. So we're growing our ecosystem base. So, and as you know, 5 of them were in the final, in the actual event, they are the startups that were invited to join us today in this roundtable.
Yep. And we're going to be working with 3 of them today. One of them could not get a flight, and the other one was not available. So we'll be basically the format. If some of you have not been here before, let me just explain the format to you. We will make the recording available, as you see on your screen. We are going to spend in interactive mode just working with the businesses of these 3 entrepreneurs in the beginning of the session. And then I will explain to you a little bit about what we do in 1M1M, and then we'll have open Q&A and just discussions of whatever you want to discuss for the rest of the time. Now, if you are live tweeting the show, please use the hashtag 1M1M, and we will be live tweeting a bit from our account at 1M by 1M and at Sramana. And the other thing is the recording will be available on our Twitter channel, so that's on YouTube. Sorry, not on Twitter channel, the YouTube channel, which is, the URL is on your screen. It's youtube.com/user/1M1M Roundtable. So the entire recording will be available for you. Okay, the first company today is Quadrigram. If you could unmute your line. Ayman, how do you say your name?
Ayman is fine.
Ayman. Okay. Ayman, come please unmute your line and tell us what you're doing with Quadrigram.
Well, I'm the responsible for business development and corporate collaboration at Quadrigram. I basically build bridges with our potential users and our potential partners. That's why I'm here.
And what is the company? Tell us about the company.
Well, Quadrigram has started like a year and a half ago. We are a startup that is specialized in data visualizations. We have an innovative platform that is oriented to nowadays challenges. Basically, our vision is that we see that the raw material of the 21st century is data. And it comes from different sectors, from economy, markets, social media, smart cities, and other sectors as well. And we have large amounts of data that is being collected, stored, processed, and analyzed and made available. And could you move to the next slide, please? Yeah, and we think that the visualization is the key to transform this information into intelligence. And this helps people to traduce data into new ideas, into new tools to basically to make rapid decisions, to think about innovation, to communicate their ideas, to communicate between different profiles and stuff. So this is basically the way we see the world. We see the world as based on data, and we think that visualization is basically the tool that transforms information into intelligence, and this is where we contribute. Could you move to the next slide, please? So our users, we call them map makers. We think that what they need to do is tell a story with the actual data. They need to sketch and think freely with data and explore new ideas, and then they would like to create non-standard solutions or their own personalized, customized solutions of visualizations. And we try to provide them with the tools to do that. Next slide, please. So Quadrigram is oriented into this context, basically. It has one of the largest visualization catalogs. It's a platform that helps you interact with data as a living material and transform what we call vertical data, which is a pile of the same types of instances, basically, the data that comes from sensors, for example, into something more horizontal by discovering patterns, variables, indices, and such. So basically also the platform helps people to feed emerging questions back to the data and iterate on top of the data. You know, this is the dream of Quadrigram, the tool, our platform. Would you move to the next slide? So we think that in the next 3 to 5 years, over 1 million businesses worldwide from different sectors, media, universities, government, will be needing new analysts or new map makers for their research and for their innovation departments. And these 1 million and more map makers are our target as customers, as users. Next slide, please.
Before you go to the next slide, let's ask you a question here. You have a lot of different segments on this screen. Do you have a sense where you intend to position your company?
Yes, basically yes. We have an idea, but this is one of the questions actually that we would like to discuss with you, because the word of data visualization is a new type of, it's still young, you know, and there's, now we have, for example, business intelligence and economics, they already have their own tools. Whereas journalists and people working with social media and smart cities do not have the actual proper tools for them. So it's a mixed bag, basically. We do not want to compete with already existing technologies, but we want to create a new paradigm for working with data. So in this sense, a lot of people are potential users, but we would like to concentrate on the most deprived from tools and from frameworks.
Let me provide you one other sector in which you need to optimize in selecting the segment. Not just the most deprived, but also a segment that is likely to fail. Because
hello? Hey, Andrea Carissimo is joining.
Okay, Andrea, can you please mute? You're working with Eamon right now, so just put yourself on mute and I'll call you when your turn comes. Eamon, so what I was saying is that you need to not only do a sharp competitive positioning, but also figure out which segment is likely to pay and how much. Because part of the problem with you try to go to bloggers and stuff, they don't pay for anything.
Yeah, we noticed.
So that's definitely not a segment that I would suggest you go after. Now you're talking about 15,000 data journalists in the media. The media industry is really struggling right now, really struggling. They have, the Western world's media industry has been devastated by the internet. So it's not clear to me how many of them have money to pay either. On the other hand, the big data and BI analytics adoption has been at the high end of the business user market, big enterprises and so forth. Whereas in the low end, there hasn't been as much adoption, and part of the reason is the offerings have not been there, and offerings that are at an affordable price have not been there. So you still need to do some, significant comparative analysis and research to figure out what is out there, and especially there are startups working in that area as well. But there, I think there are more gaps, and we need to kind of find those gaps. Like students, individuals like you have data scientists, students, and interactive designers. These guys are not going to pay. The universities, maybe, they're not going to pay a lot. So I think the question really is that who is going to pay who has unmet needs? That is the question that is going to determine our positioning.
That's true. I think what you're saying is kind of like summarizes our experience in the last month. like 6-7 months, we have reflected a lot on what you're saying, and I think this summarizes it very well. Actually, you answered one of our questions. Now, the strategy that we're thinking about is a two-step strategy, basically. First of all, is to identify and connect with our community, what we call map makers, is really profile them, know where they are, what needs do they have, and help them to make use of our technology, and help us to make use of their feedback as well. And based on their feedback, we would like to refine a little bit more our technology, to make it a bit more adequate, and then move to the second step, which is creating a partners network for us. And I think there's a lot of value in doing the partner network, because we can partner with different types of companies or industries that they can add value on top of our processes, or what we can offer in terms of data visualizations. For example, companies that work as data providers, or companies that work with complex modeling or complex computations and stuff. And these can come from different domains. So with the second step is, after refining our technology and understanding our community and connecting with it, is to go a step further and build our partner network.
So I think what you're suggesting is basically going to market with an OEM strategy, which is exactly where my instinct is as well, is to take this business in an OEM mode and go become the front-end technology provider for data vendors and in big data infrastructure vendors or analytics infrastructure vendors who have needs for visualization, complex visualization or sophisticated visualization tools, and go to market through them. Because the other thing that offers you is those kinds of go-to-market strategies are actually less expensive, because you have a smaller number of customers that you can work intensely with. It's not consumer marketing, or it's not like marketing to trying to harness a lot of small businesses, which are all relatively more expensive go-to-market strategies. So OEM go-to-market strategy typically tends to be less expensive, less capital intensive.
I agree. We had some few experiences on the OEM level, and the only drawback we can talk about is the amount of technical effort we need in order to customize our platform to connect with other platforms and stuff. But the overhead may be worth the investment, may be worthwhile.
Or you can negotiate those OEM contracts where the OEM partner pays for that integration or customization. It depends on how unique your technology is and how much the OEM partner wants that technology. And there, I think part of the thing that you're going to see is there are companies like Tableau and so forth that have pretty good visualization tools. So there's going to be one big question is, how are you going to differentiate from those?
Oh, we believe we are very different. At least on the internal cultural level of our company, we have a different approach in working with data. It's much more flexible and much more free. Or at least this is what we wanted to make it. So people who don't have the skills to program can do what programmers can achieve.
Okay.
So we have this advantage in competition that we would like to build upon.
And do you have a list of potential OEM partners yet?
Well, I think so. I don't think it's impressive, but I think we have one.
Okay, so that's critical to figure out where, even in terms of target OEM partners, there are a lot of choices. So you have to kind of figure out where to position it, and where do you think early traction is going to come from?
Well, the action has been in reverse. We've been contacted by many potential OEM partners. We did not do the contacts ourselves. That's why I'm telling you we are currently assessing the situation in this sense. One problem is that the OEM potential partners that are interested in us are all overseas. So the communication sometimes is a bit difficult, and building trust is a bit costly. It needs a lot of maintenance in order to build this bridge between the two companies. But we're doing that. This is basically what we're doing.
US companies primarily?
In Australia, in the Middle East, in the US, and some in Russia, and one in Japan, actually. So you see, if you get an idea how much cultural and time barriers we need to cross in order to build this network, but we're working on it.
There is a fine line, by the way, between being dragged completely into random directions by inbound queries versus making a strategic, market penetration strategy and going after something that really is interesting. So, personally, I would like to see what kind of, queries, what segments, what types of users, what types of OEM partners are coming and making some decisions that are more strategic and where your marketing is going to be. Inbound leads, fine, it's coming and you cater to them and everything, but there needs to be also a strategy of really where you want to take the company.
Well, we agree. We're just in this phase where we are taking this technology out into the open and trying to get some preliminary feedback in order to feed our strategy. And we are in the process of developing this strategy. And that's why your advice is coming really handy at this moment. Thank you.
Your second question on this, I guess the accelerate the growth and expansion part of it is putting together a strategy that is going to, be more targeted and more specific. This question about incorporating more rapidly in the data departments of medium and large size companies, the issue is they don't really have data departments. They have functional areas where data is used extensively. So it could be in the marketing, the data is used in the marketing department, data is used in the finance department, data is used in sales operations, data is used in various different bug tracking systems. There are all sorts of different places where data is used. And this is one of the decisions you have to make is where do you want to go and what kinds of problems, data visualization problems, are you particularly good at solving when it comes to functional applications within that department, and where there is enough white space from a competitive positioning point of view. So this, that gap of where there is need, where there is differentiated value proposition from your technology will determine where you focus your marketing efforts. So if it's let's say the social media data is what you're going to optimize or visualize and then help people optimize their campaigns on, then the person that you call is the social media marketing director or manager or VP of marketing of that company, and kind of the whole sales cycle is going to be around that. If you're talking about bug tracking systems, then it's a completely different sales cycle.
Yeah, I think we agree. We've been assessing our strategy lately, and we are thinking about building basically exclusively in the first phase on our advantages as a tool. I mean, what are we good in doing? For example, we're very good in visualizing networks and networks in motion, and this addresses certain domains that we would like to start to target specifically. We don't want to lose our global approach to data visualizations, but we also would like to build our market bit by bit.
Well, yeah, you have a basic technology, and then you add on top of that. So if you have specific capabilities, your technology specifically lends itself to visualization in the dynamic network domain, then the target of OEM partners is the network management tool vendors. There's a finite set of those. Some of them are large companies, some of them are mid-sized companies. We know some of them. I actually, have friends who are, in that business as well. So this is, that could be a very concrete go-to-market strategy. You knock down that part of the ecosystem. Maybe you have similar opportunities in the security, network security area. Again, then there is a whole set of potential OEM partners that in the network security area.
True.
That's your question. What key aspects allow an efficient development of a partner network is when you have differentiated capabilities to solve a particular problem, like whether it's network management visualization or network security visualization. And there may be 10 other problems, but what my suggestion would be is to identify those. Let's say there are 10 network management vendors, and you go talk to all of those. 10 network security vendors, you go talk to all of those. That's the way I would I would go to market with this, and it would be a very efficient, fast strategy because, then it's very specific. What you tell them is very specific. What they're evaluating you on is very specific, and you can get to business very quickly.
So the key advice you're giving us basically is specialization.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's something that we see working all the time. If you try to go broad, it doesn't work because you're kind of not really going, you don't have teeth.
Into any direction. Yeah.
If you have specialization, you have teeth, and you can really bite into a problem and solve it really well, and people will pay for it.
Well, thank you very much for your advice.
You're very welcome. Kachum. Is that how you say it, David?
Yeah, that's correct, yeah.
All right. Tell us what is Kachum.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm David Marimon from Kachum. I'm the CEO, and what we do at Kachum is visual recognition. So let me explain you what is visual recognition. Imagine you take a mobile phone and you point to an object, and you want to identify this object. So you would take this picture and match it against a large collection of images and identify the right object. So that's basically what we provide. In this slide, what you see is sort of a value chain. So let's imagine we have a retailer as an end customer that wants to provide to their a shopping experience on a mobile device where users can take pictures of fast-moving consumer goods, for instance, and add them to the shopping list.
Okay.
Now, to do that application, they would ask typically their IT consultants firm, which is this in the middle, the developer, ISV, or integrator that would build the app, the mobile app. And for the recognition component, they would ask Kachum through a license of the software or using our software as a service platform. So overall, what we do is we enable developers, ISVs, and integrators to build solutions for different verticals such as augmented reality, gaming, advertising, retail, and venues. If you can please move to the next slide. What makes us strong is mostly our technology because we provide very accurate results in a fraction of a second, which is very important because we have to imagine that the user does not want to wait until it gets an answer. And the other thing that is very strong about our technology is that it was built for the cloud, for public cloud infrastructures. So we take into account that we can share resources. And our technology was benchmarked by our clients comparing to other competitors, and we resulted as 4 times faster than our closest competitor, whereas we provided better results.
Okay.
So this gives us some advantage. In terms of market, we have a horizontal market approach, but there are 2 verticals where we will focus on. One is augmented reality providers, and the other one is gaming. So for augmented reality providers, for those who are not familiar with augmented reality, the idea is that we can point, for instance, at a magazine with a mobile device, and on top of the physical magazine, through the display of the mobile device, we can see enhanced information, digital information, such as a video embedded into the image or some call to action. The first step to provide this experience is recognizing, in this case, in which page of the magazine the user is pointing at. So that's what Kachum could provide. Now, if you please move to the next slide, I will explain you the market segmentation for game publishers. There's a model, a freemium model in gaming that is called free-to-play, where basically the download is for free, and then inside the game you can buy micropayments, you can buy what is called in-app purchases, so you can buy level ups, you can buy virtual goods, virtual money, etc. But the reality is that between 1% of the users actually end up paying. So what we propose is a way to monetize these 97-something% of users. And the way to do it is that we want to propose the user to engage with a brand. So imagine inside the game, we propose the user to get some virtual money in exchange of taking a picture of a branded product, such as a Coca-Cola can. By doing that, we would recognize that the user is actually in front of that physical object, and we will reward the user. The idea here is that we provide a marketing channel for brands, so higher brand awareness, higher ARPU for developers, and of course a reward. So everyone is interested in this value chain. I can explain you more about this case later. So typically our customers are people who are, I mean, we want to focus first on small-sized companies, and we have realized that many of those are media agencies that are very focused on technology. And the reason why they choose Ketchum, or they see a benefit in using Ketchum, is because they want, first of all, to build a bridge between the offline and online worlds. And second, and what they really value about Ketchum, is the recognition rate and the round trip time. And of course, terms such as scalability, so how large the database can be with respect to the time that it needs to recognize it. And of course, they really value that we have already been in the market and that people are using it. If you can please move to the next slide. So in terms of go-to-market, there are 3 axes where we want to be active on. In terms of demand generation, we want to do online marketing. In terms of market development, our approach is first to start with getting a large number of developers, maybe of low-end applications, and later on with this amount of developers approach large corporations. Then to do that, the very first step for us is to build success stories. In gaming, we already have a partnership with the game studio, so our next step is to involve a brand and find the internal champion in this brand that really believes in our in this case that I explained earlier. And in terms of events, of course, we will.
Just a second, before you move on, David. So your sales cycle for what you're proposing is that you need a gaming studio and game developers, then you need a brand who wants to advertise, do in-game advertising inside that game, correct?
Yes, it's not exactly in-game advertising, but yes, that's the idea.
So and who's going to develop the piece that you are proposing? Is that the gaming studio who's going to develop it, or is it the ad agency or of the brand? Who is going to be the actual user of your product?
Okay, so typically in this case, the value chain would be a brand would contact an advertising agency or an ad network directly. Mm-hmm. And this ad network is the one who has a large number of developers attached to it. And those developers can create the special places inside their game where this kind of engagement can happen. Now, ourselves, we see us as a product to be embedded into this ad network, facilitating the capability of recognizing objects.
Okay, let me ask the question differently. Who pays? In this value chain, who pays?
The brand, because it's the one interested in doing this advertising.
Okay, if it's a brand who pays, then your sales cycle needs to start at the brand.
Okay.
You need brands who are willing to do this, and then if you have brands who are willing to do this, who are willing to advertise inside game studios, you can find games and contact them that I have an advertiser here who wants to do this in your game, and they would be fine. I think it's really my gut is the sales cycle starts with the brand then, or the advertising agency of the brand.
Okay, that was one of the questions that I had. Okay, so if we move on, I will just talk about the customer validation that we did so far. So our licensing model is already commercialized through several partners in the augmented reality space. Mm-hmm. And overall, we already reached more than 3 million active users through the apps of these partners. And the software as a service, sorry?
These are paying customers?
Yes.
And what kind of license fee are they paying?
So it's an annual recurrent fee, and then there is a part that goes on volume.
Okay. And give me an example of the kind of application you're powering and who does what in your customers. Okay,
so I will talk about Layer. Layer is probably the market leader in augmented reality. They have, I think, 25 million downloads of their app.
Okay.
They have specialized on printed media. So what their customers do is be able to create experiences around magazines and newspapers and leaflets, where people can point on top of those magazines and have call to actions, videos, all sorts of experience that they can see by browsing the pages of this magazine or a leaflet.
Okay.
Now, they have built an entire platform for publishers and for advertisers to do that. And inside this platform is embedded Kachum's technology.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay, then the other model that we want to deliver our solution is through software as a service, and we have started beta recently, and we want to run as beta until mid-January, and then we will move on to a paid service with of course, there will be a free tier, and the idea is to have a monthly subscription.
So, David, why do you have so many different business models and so many different target segments that you're going after? Why not, you have five paying customers in this augmented reality vendors space. What is the total available market of that segment? How much more can you do there? Are there another 50 companies that you could be working with?
So it's a little difficult to answer to that. So the license model is really for people who want to build platforms, yep. And I don't see that space growing enormously.
Have you covered everybody who's in that space?
Pretty much.
Okay, so there are five companies, and that's it.
No, not really. I mean, there will be others who will probably grow in this space, but they not all have exactly the same model, and we don't fit in all of them. So let's say augmented reality as such is larger than these 5 companies, of course. Mm-hmm. But inside the augmented reality companies that do platform, not all of them are a fit for Kachum.
Okay. So this is kind of, once you segment and sub-segment, the real applications are in this company. You're looking for your other segments. Now, where do you position the SaaS offering? What segment do you think you're going after with the SaaS offering?
Okay, so is really to provide the offering to low end, well, I wouldn't say low, but I mean those who cannot afford a license, mm-hmm. but can go for a model that goes on subscription base, and that for much lower budgets, and probably
what is the application? Who are these people who are looking for your technology? To these 51 registered users, what is the profile of these 51 registered users?
So some of them are media agencies, and they want to build specific applications for one customer.
Okay.
And this one customer wants to have an augmented reality experience around their own brand, for instance. Yep. So this media agency develops an app, but the technology component, they look for it by contacting to us.
Okay. Okay. That actually sounds promising, and it sounds like something where there are lots of media agencies, lots of two people, developer organizations are going to be willing to develop applications or interested in developing applications. This may be, and those could also become, in your previous slide, you were talking about, not previous slide, in this one, I think it's the game publishers. You're trying to get brands to go do augmented reality experience inside of games, and you need the brands to kind of, brands or the agencies of the brands go develop stuff. That, I think this media agencies that you're talking about here are the ones who are going to do the actual development work, is my guess, because most agencies will not have in-house augmented reality capabilities. They're going to use these onesie-twosie freelancers to do those kinds of development projects. So ultimately, I think this SaaS segmentation that you're providing here, that may be your primary audience.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, our focus for next year is mostly on the SaaS platform.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And then the questions that I had for you, I mean, the challenges that we have around the go-to-market strategy, and we have questions on demand generation and also on market development. On demand generation, as I said earlier, we will focus on online marketing, but I wanted to know if we're forgetting something else. That's one question.
Online marketing, but online marketing is a complex field in itself, and you're going to need to really focus on if the strategy is to go after augmented reality developers, these digital agencies who do augmented reality development, or solo developers or 1-2 people agencies. You need to have a very specific approach to finding out who they are, where do they hang out. Like, for instance, there's a creative exchange, creative professionals exchange called Envato. Are you familiar with them?
No. How do you spell that? Envato?
E-N-V-A-T-O. There's a case study on my blog. You should look it up. They're an Australian company, and they run a whole bunch of creative communities. That may be, I don't know if that is one place where, that is a place where these people are hanging out. I'm just giving you examples of there are actual communities for these kinds of different creative professionals. There may be professionals who do post-production work, and there's a community for that. There may be professionals who do game development, there are communities for that. But even for augmented reality, I am pretty sure, given the way the internet operates, there must be communities, online communities, where these people hang out. So you're going to need to figure out strategies of how do you penetrate those communities through very specific online marketing strategies. So online marketing is broad. You're going to have to really get granular on how do you penetrate that particular segment, where are the penetration points online. So that's my answer to your demand generation question. On the market development, as I said earlier, the answer is the brand is your economic buyer. Brand is the one who pays. However, I think in this case, the work, the actual augmented reality development work is not being done by the brand, is my guess. It's going to be done by one of these agencies, small agencies, not even the primary advertising agency. It's probably going to be done by a second-tier or third-tier agency that the advertising agency outsources augmented reality application development work. So as we discussed, your real target needs to be that digital media agency who's going to be the primary user of your product. And quite possibly the way the sales cycle is going to work is that they're going to buy the product as a SaaS subscription and bill it in their billing, in their total billing to their advertising agency client, who will in turn bill it to the brand. So as far as you are concerned, my guess is the sales cycle needs to be very focused on the digital agency that is going to be actually working with your software.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for the advice. Yeah, well, and then the last question is more of a risk versus impact. So should we approach, so you were talking about these small second tier, third tier digital media agencies, but my question would be to build this success story, the one that, I don't know, gets the press release, who would you approach?
Are there agencies, digital media agencies, larger digital media agencies that have augmented reality capabilities?
No, they are outsourcing it.
They're outsourcing it, right?
Yeah.
That's the issue. That's the issue. So the way you're going to mitigate this is by the campaign itself. So let's say even if it's developed by an outsourced small digital agency, it is part of a major campaign most likely, right? There's going to be some major brands campaign that you're going to get into because of your efforts in selling into these small agencies that are the real users of your technology. So the press release and the success story needs to be developed around that brand story. So you are the technology that powered that campaign for the, I don't know, Hobbit movie augmented reality application, something like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. Totally. It does.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So,
thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Sramana, for this time and the opportunity. Thank you very much.
Andrea, you're up next. Please unmute your line. Andrea? I see his phone line active. Andrea, are you on mute? You need to unmute your line. All right, what's going on, Maureen? Andrea was just here. What's going on? Okay. Well, while Andrea sorts out his connection, okay, somebody's sending a chat. While Andrea is sorting out his connection, I'm going to fast forward and give you an overview of 1M1M, and when Andrea is back, we'll come back and do his business. So if you like what we are doing so far, especially if you're encountering this for the first time, please get the word, spread the word around. And let us, let people know that there is such a resource as 1M1M, and we have these free roundtables all the time. We are doing, this is our 152nd session, so we've done over 150 of these roundtables. I'm going to move to the next segment. Is Andrea online by any chance? No. Okay. Andrea, we're still waiting for. So here's a quick overview of what we do in 1M1M so that you can figure out how to engage with the program. And by the way, we are a global virtual incubator, so anyone from anywhere in the world can use this program. And if you found, what's happening here useful, there is a lot more that happens in this program in terms of resources, and I'll just walk you through what those resources are. So first and foremost, we have a blog, and the blog is completely free. I just pointed, I think I pointed David to a case study on the blog. We have hundreds of case studies on the blog that we use to teach the 1M1M program. Then we have the Entrepreneur Journeys book series, which starts to synthesize some of the lessons, some of the methodology of 1M1M, and two cornerstone pieces of that methodology is bootstrapping and positioning. So as you saw, I was really trying to drill down and narrow into a segment where we can get real teeth in. This is the way we shepherd all our companies, is really focusing on a segment where there is specialization and there is really differentiated capabilities of solving a problem. The other thing we emphasize greatly on, because we work on a global basis, is on bootstrapping, because most outside of Silicon Valley and perhaps New York a bit today, most geographies don't have huge amounts of funding available. So bootstrapping becomes a really critical element of how to build a company, and we have all sorts of creative bootstrapping methodologies that we teach so that you can basically keep your company afloat while building value, while developing customers, and while getting really on top of the problem that you're solving and addressing the chicken and egg that every entrepreneur faces in the beginning. So all these books, by the way, are available on Amazon and Kindle internationally. And I know Amazon certainly has a Spain site, amazon.es, and you can find them from Spain. However, the books are in English. They have not been translated into Spanish. As I said, the blog is at sramanamitra.com. And then every Thursday, we have these free strategy roundtables. And this Thursday also, we have a roundtable. And I guess some of the Spain entrepreneurs, Barcelona entrepreneurs who were not able to join today are very welcome to come on Thursday or the next Thursday, whenever you want. We are pretty much available every Thursday to do these sessions. On top of that, we have the 1M1M Premium Program, which is a $1,000 annual membership fee for extensive methodology guidance, full curriculum. I'll talk more about the curriculum in a moment. We help you with business development sometimes where we have networks. We help you with customer introductions, channel partner introductions, like I was talking about the network management segment. I know a lot of people in the network management segment, and if you were part of the premium program, we would introduce you to our contacts in that segment. Then we do investor introductions, and the investor introductions require that you're ready for investor meetings. So we have a full financing module which will train you on how to prepare for investor meetings and so forth. And we have private versions, members-only versions of these kinds of roundtables. That's how we provide the strategy consulting and the mentoring that's also part of the program. Also, we do a lot of work in the media. We have huge clout in the media, and we deploy that clout on behalf of our entrepreneurs. So we give them a lot of exposure through our media channels. There's a 1M1M self-assessment on our site that you can use to calibrate yourself. And if you're a premium member, there are curriculum modules attached to each of those topics that you can fill your knowledge gaps using. So definitely take a look at that. It's a 9-point questionnaire that touches upon the top issues in building a startup. So the site for 1M1M is 1M1M.com. And on the top right corner, you'll find premium program, FAQ, video lectures, and so forth, video FAQs. That's where you will be able to find more information about the premium program, what to expect from the premium program, and all the FAQs related to that. Our methodology is lean, capital-efficient, bootstrap startups. So we will all the advice, all the methodology guidance that you're going to get from this program will be how you can do this with minimum capital infusion. And that is, that is geared towards making you as risk, to optimize your risk profile. The moment you need a lot of capital in building your business, the risk goes up because getting access to that capital becomes a major risk factor. And as I said, capital is scarce. We have a problem right now in the US market in particular in Silicon Valley actually. In the last 3 years, over 100,000 companies have received angel financing. But every year, only about 500, 600 companies are getting Series A venture capital, which is essentially making over 99% of these companies kind of in no man's land. They're caught between a seed round and Series A. They can't raise any more money, and a lot of these companies are going out of business. We will always suggest that you try to do things with customer money. You want to get to paying customers and revenues as soon as possible, and that's really one of the critically important pieces of the methodology so that you eliminate that capital requirement risk early on in the program. Now, as far as the curriculum is concerned, we have 7 core segments, and then we have another 7, 8 electives. The core pieces are bootstrapping, positioning, market sizing, customer validation, financing, customer acquisition, and team building. And on the elective side, we have Web 3.0 and e-commerce, cloud computing and business solutions, outsourcing and consulting, mobile and social apps, healthcare IT, online education / educational technology, gaming. And the way we delivered this curriculum, let me actually explain to you how we build this curriculum, and it will give you a flavor of the depth of the program. For the last 4 years, since the fall of 2008, we've been doing these free online roundtables, the kind of work that we're doing here today. And these roundtables have exposed us to over 15,000 people. And we've basically interacted and worked with numerous entrepreneurs, right? Close to 1,000 entrepreneurs just in these free roundtables have been in this interactive calls. And we have every single recording, we have analyzed those calls, and we have synthesized what are the different issues in the lives of early stage entrepreneurs in technology and technology-enabled services. That's our focus. On the other hand, for the last 6-7 years actually, we have been developing case studies, and we have invited successful entrepreneurs who have built sizable companies to the program to share their stories and their success strategies. So today we have over 600 such entrepreneurs who have been part of this program, and we have their case studies and success strategies. We've triangulated those two things. We've triangulated the issues of early stage entrepreneurs and the strategies and the solutions of the experienced successful entrepreneurs, and we've created a curriculum that is delivered in form of video lectures and case studies completely online. So you can access that curriculum. There's about 150 hours of curriculum that you can access at your own time whenever you want in a complete web self-service mode. This is one of the most powerful curriculums out there in early stage entrepreneurship for technology and technology-enabled services. We also have an affiliate program, and we partner with a lot of people around the world. And so, this is, if you're someone from an entrepreneurship development organizations, we would be happy to work with you to promote entrepreneurship in your geography by using the 1M1M program as the platform, as a tool. And we have a very, very interesting New Year challenge running right now that I strongly recommend all of you to apply for. We will be awarding, this is in celebration of our 150th Roundtable milestone, we will be awarding 12 scholarships to the 1M1M program, each $1,000 value for 1 year in the program. And 20 finalists will be participating in the finals on January 10th and 17th. However, to get to the finals, you're going to have to apply online and get your friends and family and colleagues to vote for you. So the finalists will be chosen entirely by the audience. So we already have lots of applications that have come in. And the one issue is that we are receiving incomplete applications. So of course, the deadline is December 20th, so there's still time. Make sure, if you decide to apply for this roundtable, make sure you submit a completed application. Only completed applications are going to go into the voting round. So Maureen, if you could put in both the URL in the public chat of the contest as well as the official rules for the contest, that would be great so that people can start looking at it. And let me see if Andrea is back. Andrea, are you on the call? What happened here? Javier, were you able to connect with Andrea? Well, while we are still sorting out Andrea's situation, you have a problem with the microphone, Andrea. Well, he's saying he's connected, but he has problems with the microphone. But you spoke earlier. We heard you. Well, Maureen, Andrea is in public chat. You sort out how he's going to get back in the call if he wants to. And meanwhile, we have a roundtable Thursday. And we also have a roundtable next Thursday. Yes? And the first roundtable of 2018 is going to be on January 3rd. Then we have 2 roundtables where we're going to do the New Year Challenge finals. And that is pretty much all I have in terms of formal presentation. If Andrea is back on the call, we will work with Andrea. And otherwise, it's open Q&A time. You can use the public chat to ask questions. Is anybody else who, I know there are some people, Marco and Javier, are trying to help Andrea out to sort out his technical issues, but otherwise, do you guys have questions, those who are in the room? Please feel free to type in your questions in the public chat. No? No questions and no Andrea. Antonio Pujante says, good afternoon, Panam Nav has joined. Now, what is Panam Nav, Antonio? Tell us more. Marco, you can unmute your phone. Star 6, I think, unmutes your phone.
Hi there. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I have Andrea on the phone, and I think Andrea can, you can hear Andrea. Hi, Andrea.
Hello, everybody. Sorry for the problem.
All right. Okay, I'll move the slides back to your section, and let's work on your business. See how flexible we are?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm so sorry and I want to apologize to everybody because of the technical problem. I'm sorry. I was listening to you before, and thank you for letting me join this meeting. So, brief introduction of Super Trooper. Super Trooper, the aim is to offer a tool to the user to save money in their purchase process and connect with retailer and brands directly, so that sort kind of making a bridge between the two components of the markets. We have decided to go for not for the web as intended to be the computer, but offering this solution with mobility tools like smartphone and in the future the tablet.
Okay.
This is, so we can go to the next one. Basically, this is a free application that you can have in iOS and Android. That means iPhone and all the kind of the Android through our phone. And so far, it is possible to scan the products or search by text and get the price of these products in the Spanish market by the online sellers. Is only online prices. Up to now, we have more than over 600,000 downloads. And the database is around the 300 key products, meaning barcode. That means that we have a different product with the same barcodes that increase the number to 1 million. The difference with the competitors in Spain and abroad Spain, mainly in UK and USA, is that all the information are resident in our database, in our server, and we are not taking all the information while the user is asking us the information. We are not scrapping.
Okay.
And so this is the main difference with the competitors.
And is this in English or Spanish?
It is up to now is in English, but has been since the beginning designed and engineered in multi-language, so that we can scale rapidly in every country.
And these 600,000 downloads are from Spanish users or international users?
Only in Spain.
Only in Spain. Okay.
By now we are focused on Spain because we want to consolidate our business plan.
So I'm just asking to understand where we are right now.
Yes. The intention is to consolidate the leadership in the Spanish market and then go abroad. Okay. With the solution.
Fine.
So what the aim, as said, of this application is allow the user to save money in their purchase process, in addition to avoid all the barrier of space and time. We see that is very useful for retailer and brands because it allows as well direct link between them and the consumer, so that they can make the direct campaign of advertisement and the notification one-to-one based on.
Sorry, quick question on what is the whom do you see as your competitors? Is it the Find and those kinds of companies?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Do you know this company, The Find?
No.
The Find is a comparison shopping engine for products.
Okay.
And they primarily focus on lifestyle products. And typically, this comparison shopping industry has been around for a while, and many of them have gone to mobile apps as well. So I guess the question I'm trying to get a sense of is whom do you consider as your closest competitors?
In United States, we have ShopSavvy.
ShopSavvy,
okay. That we consider as the closest for us competitors. We know that they received from Robert Severin last year important injection of capital, and we think they are our reference as a competitor. And in England, our competitors very close to us is Red Laser.
Okay. And what business model that you, ShopSavvy, and Red Letter are using?
Well, the model is to allow the user, the consumer, to get the information where he can find the cheapest, the product he wants at the cheapest price. At the time, we give the information only on the online business, while the evolution of this application will be as well to integrate the offline offers by the technology of geolocalization.
So my question, however, I understand that. The question that I'm asking is, what is the business model? How do you make money? How does make money?
Yeah. I put a slide, more or less the last one. One more slide, another one. This is the team, the next one. So the business line we find is for naturally advertisement that can be display, contextual, local, one-to-one, pop-up. The possibility to utilize all the information we have, because as I said, we have the database, so we have all the information related the evolution of the price in the time for every seller. So we can offer inside reports to brands, because we can tell them the way the consumer are scanning the products, are making the list and purchasing their products. And on the other hand, as well to retailer, because again, we can give them the information of the price of the competitors, for instance, supermarkets or whatever kind of retailer, as well as the number of SKU they have for every category of, for instance, grocery or electronics or whatever. Another business line we consider is commission from sales, because the model we are having here in Spain is that we want to gain a little commission for every sales the seller obtain by the application selling directly to the user.
And are you able to complete a purchase inside the app?
Yeah, we are doing now. Yes.
You can take a commission of that sale.
Yes, we have basically two ways of gain commission. Since our application has developed the possibility to make a purchase list quite complex, we are trying to convince the supermarket to use our application to gain other customers in order to make the weekly boring purchase through our application, comparing the family normal purchase list between the different supermarket, which is the cheaper, and then decide to buy. But up to now, we didn't get any commercial agreement with the local supermarket because they are not willing at this time to pay any commission. But
right now, you're not making money of the 600,000 downloads that you've got.
Not through the supermarket, but we are doing money, earning commission, with special, well, with some of the reseller that are for, let's see, perfumes, electronics. They are more sensitive to this new way of selling. Instead of the supermarket that in Spain, at least, they are more traditional.
Yeah. Yeah, and also there is, I think there are some options here, is looking at the affiliate model, right? If you have the entire catalog of the internet that potentially are being sold through sites that have affiliate programs, they naturally are set up for paying commissions. You know, people pay 10% affiliate commissions or 15% affiliate commissions. And if you have that catalog in your system, that may be one way to start monetizing quickly.
Yes, can be.
However, in that case, you're going to have to basically show the results of the catalog where you can monetize, as opposed to those that you don't have any relationship with and cannot get paid on.
Yes. The problem is that up to now, the local player in Spain are quite conservative. So we are fighting in this moment to find some agreements, and we are close to sign with one of the more famous player here in Spain.
Okay.
And we hope that this will open new opportunities with the others.
So is your focus purely on the supermarket category, or are you doing other departmental stores? Like, would you do Zara, for instance?
We started with the idea. We started with focusing on supermarket because originally this application was intended to solve the problem of the weekly purchase, the weekly food and drugs purchase, comparing what was the cheapest supermarket with a list.
Okay.
But then we realized that since they are very traditional, we had to focus on other players. And the other player, the best player in this moment are retailers selling electronics or toys or other products like perfumes,
okay.
other category.
Yep. So I don't have a slide with your questions. Did you have a slide? Did I miss it?
No. No. One question we had internally was, or consideration more than question, was we believe that the stronger competitor we have is ShopSavvy in the United States. And we know that ShopSavvy is looking to China market and the Oriental market. So what we are focused on, what we think is could be our strategy is try to expand the fastest as possible in South America and Europe, trying to consolidate our markets. So I don't know if you believe this could be a good strategy, or
it's very difficult and very expensive to do large-scale business development on an international scale. So I wouldn't, if you want to go to another market, I would suggest you go step by step. If you open up all of Europe and then all of Latin America, that's going to be very expensive business development-wise, travel cost-wise. It's, I don't know how much resources do you have, but you have to be a bit careful about how you use those resources.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so one step at a time.
One step at a time. In general, I think one step at a time is the best way to build a business, because if you go too broad, it's hard to cope with that.
Yeah, it's always a matter of time, because it's true that one step at a time is the better way, and the other time is you have to be the first in the market. So it's a combination of the two necessities.
Yeah, being the first to the market is often overrated. Have you ever seen Microsoft be first in any market?
No. Yeah.
So I don't think you necessarily always need to be first in the market, especially if it's a very new market. Sometimes let people do their experimentation and learn from the experiments of the competitors and see how, but it is important to kind of keep an eye on what you can learn from the experiments of other competitors to decide how you position yourself and what strategy you use. But I think your work right now, based on the fact that you have had 600,000 downloads in Spain, so you can actually, that 600,000 downloads, getting another 600,000 downloads in France or in Germany is going to take time, but here you can take those 600,000 downloads to a discussion with a retailer, with a supermarket, and tell them that, look, we are in 600,000 smartphones. We can give you access to these consumers, and you can actually sell through us. So the negotiation becomes more powerful because you're bringing something to the table, whereas to get that kind of traction started in France or in Germany is going to take time.
Yeah. Yes, actually, last week we signed an agreement with the Bayer Group, with Nivea brand, and that was the strong point for us, offering almost more than 500,000 of potential customers.
Yeah, and that's very powerful. Especially if you go to smaller, supermarkets perhaps, where they don't have that kind of access. Maybe they're not the largest chains, but they are slightly smaller supermarkets and so forth. Maybe that's for them, getting access to 500,000 customers is very attractive. Of
Yes,
course, you have to make sure that they have the capacity to fulfill the orders. That's the other problem.
That's the other problem, yes.
All right, well, good. So we've got time so far to spend with 3 of the entrepreneurs from the SmartCamp Barcelona finalists, and I think we'll be working with 1 more on Thursday, and then we'll see who else wants to come by. And I do recommend that those of you who are interested in 1M, 1M, maybe you should take a look at the New Year Challenge, because we do have a very exciting contest running right now, fun contest that is the deadline for applications is December 20th. So Marco, you may also want to share this with the 90 companies that if they are looking for help and are interested in applying for the contest, they can do that.
Okay, that's fine. I'll do that, and I would also like to say thank you to all of you, and especially to you, Sramana, for arranging this, and well, starting doing this for the first time with IBM and with our applicants in SmartCamp, sorry. And I hope you all leverage this, and you all think that thought that this is something that is useful for all of us, and I hope to keep in touch with all of you.
Yes, absolutely, and it was very interesting for us to see what's cooking in Barcelona. It's for me, it's very much fun to see entrepreneurs and their thought processes and their innovations in different parts of the world, and it was really a pleasure to work with you and learn about what's happening in Barcelona. So thank you for arranging this. Also, we couldn't have done this without you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye, everybody. We'll see you on Thursday.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.